spent a lot of my time going over files, fielding calls.
And I have tried to be supportive.
You've been more than supportive. You've been incredible.
Thank you for saying that. But as hard as he's been working, he is no closer to solving this than the night it happened.
It's true. I'm stuck.
You're not the only one.
So that scene is super duper special to me. My showrunners are very aware of my love for Brad Pitt's career. And they literally kind of recreated that scene based off of Mr. and Mrs. Smith. It literally says it in the script. The very first description is, imagine Mr. and Mrs. Smith therapy scene. They even shot it that way and even situated us that way. So that was really cool. And I feel like that scene is extra special because we don't really have many scenes where we get to let things breathe. And, you know, our show is very fast. It's a very fast show. It's quick paced, quick cuts, sort of get to the point of the story. And I feel like this is one of the few scenes where Rashad let us really sit in it, sit in the awkward moments, sit in the awkward silence. And I think it makes the scene so much more special, because if you were just gonna cut it up really quick, I think the silence and the awkwardness in between the words is really one of the best parts about that scene and about that writing. So I was super excited to be able to do that, and it's, you know, it's so cool to have that be the opener instead of the opener be, you know, a rescue or 911, what's your emergency? And it just felt like something fresh and new, and there's nothing better than two actors sitting just delivering amazing dialogue. It kind of like all the work was done for us with the writing. We just had to, you know, show up and deliver, and I think we did. And it's one of my favorite scenes we've ever done, especially for Tarlos. I've been teasing people about it forever, so I'm glad to finally be able to talk about it. Yeah, exactly. It's I feel like our show does something very special. We do medical emergencies and personal emergencies really well, and the way we're able to balance both is, I think, very special and unique to the 911 universe overall, not just us. They do it on the OG as well. That's just a perfect example of we're talking about a very, very serious subject matter, and you know, leave it to Tarlos to have these difficult conversations, which they've been having for 5 straight seasons. And I think it really shows the evolution of Tarlos's communication, their evolution as partners, as a married couple. You know, I think there's a lot that you can take from that and apply it to anybody that's in a relationship or, you know, aspiring to be somebody's partner. I feel like that scene is very, very telling of, you know, two people really caring about each other and doing the work to make sure that, you know, their relationship stays healthy and can thrive, can continue to thrive. And I think that's a perfect scene to showcase how much these two truly love each other and care about each other. Yeah, and we're not dealing with some sort of it's not a light case. It's very serious and dangerous, and, you know, the fact that it deals with his own father's murder is just, you know, just raises the stakes to the all-time high. And he's dealing with some really scary people, you know, and I think TK is not only concerned about Carlos's mental health and you know, the effect it has on them, but I think truly he's concerned for his husband's life, and again hopes that he doesn't get himself into really, really deep trouble that could, you know, lead to something really scary. And so I think that's just TK, again, making sure that they can do the work to ensure that their relationship stays alive, first of all, and can continue to thrive. I think so. I think that's also very telling of the two of them. You know, I feel like Carlos is very thoughtful in a different way. I think it's a beautiful metaphor and sort of, you know, very symbolic of what that gift is. And then TK like physically brings a gift that's, you know, equally as thoughtful, but they just have, you know, they're just very different, and they have different you know, ways of expressing themselves. And I think they're both extremely sweet and thoughtful, and yeah, I think TK does think that the box is it's huge. You know, it's kind of like when they had the conversation about kids with the lizard. He's like, you know, right now I'm not ready for kids, but I will give this little lizard creature a try. And it's just, you know, it's Carlos taking these massive steps to, you know, make sure that his husband is heard and seen and is happy as well. And yeah, I think he definitely believes that he'll do what he says. My favorite scene I've done with Gina. I have been craving to act my butt off with Gina Torres. She is so amazing, and I've just been, you know, I've felt deprived. I see her all the time, and we're doing medical stuff together, but I rarely get to like sit down and have a beautiful dialogue with an incredible actor. And we finally did it, and it was everything I could have wished for. She's just the greatest scene partner, and I think you can see it in the scene that scene symbolizes truly the next step for Tommy and TK. I think that really solidifies her as his work mom, and sort of this matriarch that he's been missing because, you know, because of what happened to his mom, very, very sadly. So I think Tommy was always going to be that sort of figure to him, and I think that scene solidified it and introduced a new level to TK and Tommy, and I'm so happy about that scene. I could watch it all day. It's so good. Exactly, and you know, there's one thing going to Owen, or you know, maybe going to one of his, you know, comrades in the firehouse, but there's something about Tommy is a very, very bright, poised woman who is a mother and has gone through really traumatic stuff. I think the one thing that TK and Tommy have always shared in common that is sort of unspoken is, you know, tremendous loss. You know, she lost her husband and TK lost his mom shortly after, and I think they have that sort of that trauma that can actually bond them. And I think he takes great pride in being her, in her being his captain, and now, you know, being able to go to her on a very human level. I think you see that beautifully in that scene. And hats off to Tim. To Tim and Rashad, and man, I'm so proud of that. First of all, I'm just so proud of this episode. I think it's our first true Tarlos episode of the season. Definitely not the last, trust me. But I feel like episode 5 is really, really special on so many levels. You know, I think TK and Carlos have something really huge in store for them. That's, I think, gonna take the relationship to the ultimate next level. And I think you guys will know exactly what that is when it appears. I think we start talking about it in episode 7. So maybe we'll have to chat again about that. But I think that next test is going to be the ultimate tell for who these two are as a married couple. And I don't think people are going to be disappointed. I can say that much. So there's always more growth for them and always more challenges, but I kind of truly believe that Tarlos is endgame, the way we've been saying it for years now, and I don't think there's anything that can stop these boys. Could be. You know, I'll say this because I don't want to give too much away, but I can say personally, me, Ronen, the actor, I've been daydreaming and waiting to see Enzo on this show. Because going into season 1, I quickly learned that Enzo was actually TK's father figure for most of his young life. And that dynamic, compared to him and Owen, is very different. And I think it makes for an incredible love-hate triangle that we're gonna see between Enzo, Owen, and TK. Jonah, I think, just wait till you guys see the casting. It might be the cutest kid of all time. I think America is gonna fall madly in love with him. I told his parents, I said, you got a little superstar in your hands here. And it was just so cool to work with a little kid and to bond with him and to really gain his trust. Because you know it's hard for a little kid to come on set and you know there's a million people and there's lights and cameras, and I really made it my mission to make sure he felt safe and comfortable, and by the end of it we were inseparable, and he didn't want me to let go of him when I held him, and it was a magical experience, and I think that really translates on screen as well. Well, that is exactly, I think, what it's all leading to is Owen's going through his stuff here and TK's going through his stuff here, and I think eventually it all collides because of Enzo and Jonah coming to town. I think it's a perfect way to unite us and actually kind of, I don't want to use the word divide, but definitely add a little bit of a rift to Owen and TK. But it's for great reason. It's always for a great reason. And I think the makeup of those two this season is one of the most special things that we do this season. And it's all for a good cause. And it brings up some very difficult conversations that needed to be had between TK and Owen as well, that we've sort of just brushed to the side, you know, since TK was a kid. So it definitely brings up some stuff that I feel like TK finally gets to get off his shoulders and really let Owen know how he feels about things. And that I'm so excited for that as well. Yeah, you know, I think we touch on that in the later episodes. I think the one thing I could say is that TK didn't really know his uncle, you know, and I think it's just because we have a limited amount of time. I think it was very crucial to show how Owen is going through that. Not so much for TK, and I'm not saying that, you know, it wasn't important for TK, but I think just with having 12 episodes and having a limited amount of story, I think I stand by them focusing more on Owen and Robert instead of TK and Robert as well. But I can tell you that TK is there for Owen to be a shoulder to lean on, because I think that's really eating away at Owen this season, and we'll see why. I have my own wing at this point. I can say with confidence, this is the first season where TK does not get hurt. We close call with episode 3 with the gas cloud, which was such a special scene, and Gina's monologue in her walkie-talkie was so brilliant. But no, he's finally safe. I think the writers finally gave me a break. No more comas, no more hospital visits. He's alive and he's well this season. I think Enzo and Jonah are gonna really push us into the end of the season, and will really set up the next giant evolution in Tarlos and for TK. I think there's going to be a lot of questions answered, especially when it comes to Owen and TK. One thing I can say that I really appreciated this season, it was the heaviest paramedic season we've ever had. You could just see by the first 4 episodes. And that was really cool because I feel like for the first time we kind of had our own world this season. Like, it's very much TNT, as we call each other, doing their own thing, and the firefighters doing their own thing, and then Carlos is doing his own thing as a Texas Ranger. So it's been really nice to see the paramedics shine on their own and give, you know, more shine to Brianna and obviously Gina and myself, and it's just been really cool to dive deeper into the paramedic stuff. And I feel like this season we really clicked. Like, the 3 of us were kind of like a well-oiled machine, and even our paramedic tech, who's always on set making sure, you know, we're doing a good job, she was like, this is your greatest season as paramedics. She was so proud of us. I think like we really locked in to being badass paramedics, and I think you've seen that so far, and you'll definitely see it in episode 4, which is airing tonight. Bittersweet, you know, it's bittersweet. It's kind of like so many blessings have come from it, like so many, from a personal level to a career level. It's brought me so much good that I just couldn't have imagined, you know, when I started doing this when I was 17 years old, and to be on a show this big for this long, that people are actually watching and are connecting with. Because there's a million shows out there that people, you know, they watch, and it's cool, it's just something you put on. But I feel like Lone Star and especially TK and Tarlos, they've really clicked with people, and it's really hit people on a deep level. And I think that's been such an honor and a blessing to be able to play and to be able to represent in many ways. And, you know, I think I've had a lot of time now to make peace with it. I think obviously the sad part is leaving people that you've been with for 5 years, and leaving these characters that you've been with for 5 years, because I feel like there's still so much story to tell. And I know our showrunner feels the same way, that, you know, he feels like we're just starting to scratch the surface on all these characters. And, you know, there's so many other characters aside from TK that aren't as developed, and we could have used so much more story for them. And you know, it would have been really nice to shine a light and highlight some more of the other characters. But, you know, it's a tough business, and I think I would feel wrong to complain or to get too down on myself after being on a hit show for 5 years. I mean, it's only a blessing, you know. It's sad to leave the people, but I feel like 5 years was such a gift, and it doesn't come often, and we definitely see it with, you know, the changes in our industry, that, you know, a 5-year hit is something to truly cherish and to celebrate. And I don't think I'm gonna let myself get too down on it, but you know, luckily most of the cast lives in LA, and we still see each other and we talk every day, so that's really nice. But I think I'm more sad for the fans who have connected so much with these characters, and I think you're gonna feel the same thing I'm saying, that there's still so much more story to show and to write. So that's kind of the thing that hurts me the most, is to see them go for the fans, because I know how passionate and how dedicated the fans are to the show. So I feel for them more than anything. You know, Rafa said it brilliantly at a convention we just did in Chicago. He said, "Happily ever after," and I think I'll leave it at that. I'm gonna miss TK just in general. I think he's one of just one of the most special people well, he is the most special person I've ever played, for sure. I think just as a as a human being, he's a genuinely good, selfless, vulnerable, layered, very aware that he's not perfect, but wants to be, wants to better himself, wants to be a great son and husband and friend and first responder. And it's very admirable. He's a very admirable character, and playing him has been such a treat. And I kind of have been saying for years now that TK kind of feels like the big brother you wish you had, and I wish I had TK as a big brother. I think he would really he would truly sacrifice himself in order to help someone else, and we've seen that so many times. Luckily he has stayed alive through all that, but he's just a genuinely good person, and it's been just the greatest treat of my career to play him. And I'm gonna miss him very much, but I'm gonna cherish him even more. And just amazing memories, just lifelong memories and lifelong friends. And we went through so much on this show. I started when I was 25, now I'm 30. We went through COVID and writer strikes, and people have bought homes and are able to live the way they want to live. And it's just been a true, just a dream come true, and I'm gonna cherish it forever. I took a couple of things. I have my 1-year sobriety chip. That's very special to me and to TK. I have one of the most special things to me is his chain. I'm the only one in the world that has the chain with the 252 on it, which is TK's New York firehouse. And that's really special because I got that on my first day in New York, which only Rob and I were able to experience, which was just bonkers. And first day of work was in Times Square with this massive star, and I was just like, oh my God, what did I get myself into? So that I cherish very much. There's not even a double of it. I'm the only one with the 252, so I'm gonna really, really take care of that. And I was also gifted the Texas flag that was flown on the fire truck in the very first trailer from the pilot. So that was really cool. I'm very proud of that one. And then just other little things, but those three I think are the most special to me. Who knows? Ask Tim and Rashad. I love this universe, and people know how much I love TK, and I would always be open to it, of course. It has to make sense for the stories and for the universes, and that's a question for the big bosses. That's not for me to decide.